for a political stunt, a political game, for political gain. Last night, the Senate had an opportunity to begin solving these problems right away. Every Democrat did his or her part, and we all voted yes. Republicans blocked legislation to avert a default and a shutdown. Plain and simple, there's no way to get around it. Republicans blocked legislation to avert a default and a shutdown.
To just that bill, that it had to be about building back better. And building back better has the support of over 95% of our caucus. So when you say Democrats divided, no, they're overwhelmingly, I've never seen actually over 95% of the caucus just about for anything. There are some who disagree, and I respect that about the size of the package, and so some in the Senate, a couple in the Senate as well, and we have to find our common ground, respectful of each other's views. But this isn't about moderates versus progressives. Overwhelmingly, the entirety of our caucus, except for a few whose judgment I respect, support the vision of Joe Biden, and we will make progress on it this week.
Engaged in an unprecedented taxing and spending spree on a one-party basis would also have to raise the debt ceiling on a one-party basis. We didn't spring this on anybody. Been perfectly out there for 2 months. I've heard their arguments. Some of you have mirrored those arguments. Let me make sure you understand the facts. The facts are that the majority party has had, in the past, in this situation, to raise the debt ceiling by themselves.
Nancy Pelosi, everybody, is now ready to pass a new infrastructure bill with the support from progressive lawmakers. This means that we can get a stimulus check very, very soon. Welcome back to the channel, folks. In today's video, we are going over the most important stimulus check information first. A major component of President Biden's plan to raise revenue to pay for his trillions of dollars in new federal spending is now under fire from trade associations across the country. The Biden administration has made clear its plan to beef up IRS auditing by expanding the agency's funding and power. Biden's latest proposal will require banks to turn over to the Internal Revenue Service bank account information. In a pushback against the proposal, more than 40 trade associations signed a letter to the U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and also Kevin McCarthy, raising alarm about the plan. The letter includes support from several banking coalitions that call on Congress to reject the requirement, and they also say it violates customer privacy, and it's going to create an incredibly expensive and elaborate reporting requirement for the banks. House Democrats have so far indicated that they plan to fulfill that request. And Nancy Pelosi told Democrats that the passage of the $550 billion infrastructure bill must now wait for President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar social safety net plan, saying the larger package is not yet ready for a vote. In a private caucus meeting, Pelosi said the party must make difficult choices because the dynamics have changed and Democrats have not yet agreed to a spending level. The remarks represent a significant reversal for Pelosi, who vowed in June that the House is not going to vote on the infrastructure bill until the mega bill has passed the Senate. This development indicates the vote for the Senate-passed infrastructure bill is likely to happen in the House on Thursday, whether or not there's a deal on the separate bill by then, which progressives have demanded to win their votes for it. Now, it is not clear that the infrastructure bill can pass the House, even if Pelosi calls the vote. Progressive House Democrats have threatened to vote down the infrastructure bill if the vote is held Thursday, before the mega bill is even completed, fearing that centrist Democrats would seek to shrink or kill the larger bill if the bipartisan infrastructure measure passes. In her remarks to Democratic lawmakers, Pelosi said the House and the Senate would need to agree on the bigger bill before a vote could be held. And that is a tall order, as party leaders have yet to resolve a host of differences among Democrats, who have very thin majorities in the House and the Senate over policy and the price tag. They have no realistic hope of winning Republican support for the package. Now, in her remarks to Democratic leaders, Pelosi said the House and the Senate would need to agree on the bigger bill before a vote could be held. Pelosi has a history of protecting centrist members, who tend to represent swing districts and therefore decide whether Democrats hold the House majority. Her new position comes as centrist Democrats are eager to go home and campaign on a significant bipartisan achievement. In the battle over the $3.5 trillion price tag centers on Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, centrist Democrats who have insisted that it must be reduced. but they have not named their price, which has dragged out the negotiations. What are your thoughts on Joe Manchin, folks? Can he get the bill done, and can he send out the stimulus payments before the end of the year?
I guess I have some comments here somewhere. Speaking order. Good afternoon, everyone. We're indoors because the weather is sprinkling us with some beautiful diamonds from the sky. That's what we think when rain comes in California, as we're so in desperate need of it. Thank you all for being here. A couple of days ago, we were on the steps of the Capitol to talk about Build Back Better. That was the theme of Build Back Better with women, and what we needed to do in the legislation to address previous injustices, whether it's environmental injustice, economic injustice, and the rest, to unleash the power of women, to give leverage to children, people with disabilities, and the rest with this important legislation. Always about the children. That was about the children. Today we're gathered to talk about the climate crisis and the provisions within this legislation about the children. I just left some children downstairs from Mom's Clean Air Force. They had drawings and the rest. They were little children, but they understood better the need for us to address the climate crisis than they're Valencia and Natalia, and they had drawings to that effect. They're busy, though. They have another engagement, so they couldn't come up here. They're spreading the word. And as I said to them, and I say to our guests who are gathered here, the outside mobilization on all of this is what brought us to this place where we can pass significant legislation to help America meet its emissions goals and to also help us help other countries meet theirs. So today we're gathered under the leadership of the League of Conservation Voters and other groups who are with us. Tiernan Sittenfeld is here, and she's going to be talking. She's our lead presenter. But we're here with the chair of our climate crisis. Well, it has its own specific name, the Select Committee on the Climate Crisis. Kathy Castor, Sharice Davids, Stephen Horsford, Andy Kim, Mike Ushero, Lauren Underwood, Haley Stevens, and joined by others, members of the Select Committee, Veronica Escobar and Congressman Caston. They're members of the Select Committee. Thank you for joining us. And to all of the groups who are represented here for your outside mobilization, let us applaud them. For their outside mobilization. As I've said over and over, inside maneuvering can only take us so far without the outside mobilization to get the best possible, boldest initiative. So the outside mobilization has gotten us to a maneuvering position and now take us across the finish line on this. We're very blessed to have a President of the United States who understands the science of this, that